Of one. So I just got back from what was my first and probably last ski day of this year. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get out a lot because of COVID restrictions and things being closed. And now with the weather outside being plus 10 degrees pretty much every day, almost all the snow is gone. So everywhere I go, I'm always trying to come up with creative ways to bring my full camera, my full frame mirrorless camera with me. And I realized that with kind of the advent of smartphones and everyone having them, it seems kind of silly to have a full camera and trying to manage that while you're skiing down the hill. But I've come up with some creative ways and I want to share with you how I actually bring my mirrorless camera with me safely up on the ski hill. So when I ski or when I hike, I like to use regular backpacks. I don't necessarily want to go out and have to spend the money on a camera bag, which may not have as nice of a shoulder strap or a waistband. So when I go skiing, I actually use this little guy. It's a black diamond bag. It's really nothing fancy, but it's nice and small, and that works well with the chairlift because in Ontario, we don't have gondolas or anything. We just have chairlifts that you have to sit on, and having something on your back doesn't really work that well. So often you have to flip it to the front, and so you want to have it nice and small. So I use this guy, but then to protect my camera, I actually use one of these guys, and I think I grabbed it off of Amazon. It wasn't super expensive, but it's basically just a padded sleeve, and it's got some dividers in it, and you can kind of see like right here, it's enough for a larger camera, or if you have a smaller camera with a lens, you could also fit that. So I'll just show you really quick. For demonstration purposes, this is an older camera. This is a Rebel. You can take this guy. Your camera is fully protected. I've actually used this traveling. I've thrown that in my regular bag, so you don't feel like you actually have to go and buy a dedicated camera bag. And then sometimes I'll throw that pad on top just to give it that little bit of extra security. So in the past, I've also used toques or beanies as a kind of quick way to protect my camera. So I'll just take the camera, throw it in there, and then put that at the top of my bag. And sometimes if I have an extra jacket, some layers that I'm using while camping, I'll wrap that around that, and it doesn't force me into using a dedicated camera bag. I can just use whatever bag I've already been using. So another thing I like using are these lens cases. They're a great way if you have an extra lens to bring that you can just throw it in there and zip it up, and then it sits in your bag and doesn't take up a whole lot of space. So in my case, I have the 70-200 RF, and it just fits inside of this lens case, which is a 9x16. So last year when I was skiing, I actually took a fall with my camera in my bag, and it was inside of this. So not this camera, it was an older one, but it was perfectly fine. It didn't take any damage. I didn't fall super hard. If I had fallen maybe onto rocks or something, that would have been really bad. But this guy was more than enough to protect my camera inside of that bag that I just showed you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'm always trying to come up with new ways to carry my camera and lenses around without having to go and buy something dedicated. I think if I was to do something slightly different, I'd probably get one of those waist pouches because I really like the idea of kind of having your camera right there and ready to go at a moment's notice. That can work for hiking or for skiing or for other activities where having a backpack and flipping it around takes a bit of time and are precious moments that you can actually waste and miss potentially getting a shot. Yay, we chose a fun one.
Oh, we can go on that
Chose a
side.
fun one.